The second challenge in seeing the reality of God's glory among the nations is a challenge to serve God cross-culturally. The verse says, "Go and make disciples of all the nations." That phrase of all the nations is very important because that's where the challenge to serve God cross-culturally comes in. The word nations is the root word, is the root of the English word ethnic groups. So literally, it means make disciples of all ethnic groups. Do you know how many ethnic groups in the world today? There are around 16,000 ethnic groups or people groups. Out of that 16,000, 10,000 people groups are already reached. So there are still remaining 6,000 unreached people groups. So it took how many years? 2025 years for the church to reach the 10,000 unreached people group. No? 2025 years since the time of Christ. How long will it take, do you think? How long will it take to reach, for the church to reach the remaining 6,000 unreached people groups? So keep in mind, it took 2025 years for the church to reach the 10,000 people groups. The remaining 6,000 people groups, how long will it take for the church to reach them? For your information, the global church today has the 20 times resources needed to evangelize the whole world. To evangelize the whole world. Now, with these vast resources, why the world is not yet evangelized? Why the world is not yet evangelized? I would like to quote three missiologists. Number one, Max Chismon of Kairos Cause. He said, "The greatest challenge in missions today is in the mind and heart of God's people." In the mind and heart of God's people. Howard Foltz of Harvest Connection said, "The greatest hindrance in missions today is the pastor." Wow. And the third one from Chris Wright, the top missiologist today in the world, he said, "The greatest barrier in missions today is the church." The church. That's the problem. The church didn't know the challenge of preaching the lost. Their main concern is to reach their own people, their own community, no? Not going to other places to obey the Great Commission of making disciples of all the nations. You know, here I saw, when I visit churches, I would look at their vision and mission statements. And when I see, no, this phrase, "we want to become a Great Commission church," I would always ask the pastor, the leaders, "Do you have cross-cultural ministry? Are you reaching other ethnic group, other people groups?" If they say, "No, we don't have," then you don't have the right to use that Great Commission church. Because the Great Commission church is only applied to church who are making disciples of other nations, reaching other nation. You can call your church a church planting church if you are planting churches. You can call your church an evangelistic church if you're strong in evangelism. You can call your church a disciple-making church if you are good in making disciples. But if you're not evangelizing, making this disciple or church planting among other nations to the unreached people group, you cannot call your church a Great Commission church. So many of the pastors and church leaders got angry with me because of that. But anyway, I stood on my conviction. Cannot use the Great Commission church if you are not preaching other nation. The current trends in missions today is what we call diaspora ministry or ministry to migrants. No? And we have two kinds of migrants, internal and international migrants. We also call it reverse mission. Why reverse mission? Because the challenge was what you call, there was exchange of roles and responsibilities. For example, for me, I would like to go to Afghanistan to lift the Afghans. No, it will be quite expensive. I need to pay for my plane ticket. I need to look for house and pay house there for rentals. I need to pay for my food. I need to pay for education of my children if they're still young. Di ba? So, but for reverse mission, instead of the missionaries paying all these expenses, because the Afghans came there to Canada, they are the ones who will pay for their house rentals, for their food, for education of their children. To reach them for the church is just free. You don't have to pay for anything. They are already there. They are just waiting for us to hear the gospel. Now, how do we minister to them? How do we reach out to them? Develop this strategy, what I call STL is strategy to migrant. What do you mean by STL? First STL is seek to learn. Seek to learn about their life. Befriend them. Go to them not as teacher, not as pastor. Go to them as learner, as students of their culture, of their life, of their faith, of their experience coming there to Canada. Number two, show the love of God. Show hospitality, the kindness to these people, especially when they seek our help in time of need. Number three is share the life of Christ. Share the gospel to them. And number four, see the leaders multiply among themselves. So just focus on one person and focus your time on this person and reach out to this person and disciple this person and train this person to reach out his own people. So that's the idea of this strategy. Discipling this particular people, this person and this people group to disciple their own people later on. So that's the challenge of serving God cross-culturally. The second challenge to seeing the reality of God's glory among the nations.